Today we're going to be putting new brakes on this Razor MX650 because the old brakes didn't cut it. This is a heavily modded Razor MX650 with a 48 volt battery, and the old brakes just weren't good enough. It wasn't giving it enough stoppage power to be able to get it to fully stop. So we got these new hydraulic Maraca brakes, and we're going to be putting them on that Razor MX650 today. So let's go do it. First thing I'm going to do is take all the plastics off. It'll make it much easier to run the brake line. So all you have to do is take out a bolt and clip a couple zip ties in the back. So I'm going to do that right now.
Right, so now we're just going to loosen this bolt. We're going to keep on loosening it until it should just be loose enough to pull it out like this. Once you got it out, let's move to the next step.
Alright, so now that we've loosened this bolt off and we clip the zip ties, it'll all just come off as one piece. It makes it way easier than just taking all the individual pieces off. So now that we got this off, let's go to the next step. I'm going to take this front number plate off as well, just to make it easier to run the front brake line easier. So I'm just going to clip this, and then it should just fold down, and now we're good.
So the first thing that we're going to do is take out this red piece, and then we're going to put these brake pads in there in between the rotor onto the bracket. And then once you're going to do that, we're just going to have to fit it. It took me a second because I had to fit it in between the bolts. And then once you have that down, you're going to put the bolts in. You're just going to get them tight enough to where it will stay in place like that. Now you're going to get your other bolt. You're just going to slide it through the same way. And then once you're done with that, you're just going to use a T-handle, tighten it up, make sure it's tight enough, like I'm doing right now. That fell out because I didn't have it good enough in there, so you have to make sure that the bolt is actually through both the bracket and the caliper. So you have to make sure it's in there. So all I'm doing here is tightening the bolts to the alignment so that the brake pad isn't rubbing against the rotor when riding. Alright, so now I'm just going to put the brake caliper on the already existing bracket, and that's why these brakes are great for Razor MX650s, because they fit right onto the Razor MX bracket that it comes with. So that's why I chose these, and now I'm just putting it on right now. Sometimes it's hard. It's not very easy. You have to make sure it goes through the brake caliper and the rotor, or the bracket and the brake caliper. And sometimes that isn't very simple. So as you can see, I'm kind of struggling here. It takes me a second, so that's why I put it on 2x speed. But when you're putting it in, just try to get it through that bracket and the brake caliper. And just when you get it in, see, I'm having trouble with this rear one. And then once you get those in, you're just going to tighten it with the T-handle, as I'm doing right now. Make sure you get those super tight because you don't want those falling out. And now we're just going to move to the alignment bolts, as I'm doing right now. You don't want to tighten these super tight because you want to be able to move them up and down so that's not rubbing against the rotor. The brake pads aren't. All right, now let's go to the next step.
All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put these levers onto the bars. And to do that, you just have to take out the bolt, put it on, and then reattach the bolt. It's super easy. All right, and now we're just going to keep on tightening it until it's tight enough to where it won't move, like that. And there we go. Now I got one brake lever attached, and now let's do it with the next. All right, now we're just going to do the same thing with this one. We'll put it on. I'm going to attach the bolt down here, and then we're just going to screw it in, and then it should be tight. All right, now we're just going to keep tightening it like we did with the last one. Just keep on tightening it. All right, so now we got the brakes wired the way that we want them, and now we're going to test to make sure the brakes work. So gotta turn it off first. Throttle it. Brake. It worked great. Brake. They worked great. So now we're just gonna put the plastics back on, and then we'll be good to go. All right, now we're just gonna put the plastics back on. So all you have to do is just set it on there like that, and then you're just gonna put this bolt in. If I can get it in. And then you just screw it in. And that's basically all you have to do. Make sure it's real tight. And then we'll put a couple of zip ties under here, and then we should be good.
Alright, that's gonna be it for today's video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out.
I fly like paper, get high like planes. If you catch me at the border